All right, welcome on board, welcome in this marvelous Twitch channel of Liège Game Lab that we use for our seminars or streaming games and chatting around. I am Pierre Hurel and I am your captain on this boat today. We are not in the academic part of the Replaying Japan 2020, but in a social event. The idea that we had is like, okay, if we had this Replaying Japan alive in real life, what would we do as social events? So we had a guided tour in Liège, so you did that in Liège Craft. We played together, so this is what we did yesterday, and there is always someone coming near to you, like saying, hey, do you know RPG games? Do you know amateur video games? Do you know hobbies video games? And do you know doujin games? Can we chat about that? Can I show you a game? And this guy is never go away from you. And this guy is me, actually. So that's why Fanny asked me to lead this social events on Twitch. So I jumped in, and the topics here is that we want to show you an amateur video game made by a French creator named Sylvanor. He made his game Aëdemphia. It's not specifically something that's really representative of the French amateur video games, but I wanted to show you it for two reasons. Mainly, the first one is because it's made on RPG maker called RPG Tsukuru. So this is a piece of software made in Japan and that was hacked and translated by fans during the late 90s, and there is a lot of people making games, amateur making games on this Japanese piece of software, and Aëdemphia specifically is probably one of the most impressive game made in it. So the idea was to just stream the game, play it, discuss it together, and I would personally enjoy it if we could talk about RPGs from Japan, RPGs from Occidental countries or American countries and so on. For that, I am joined by my two brilliant and marvelous colleagues, Fanny Barnabé and Bruno Dupont. And maybe Bruno, you could start introducing you with 5 words, I would say. Maybe 6.
Hi everyone, I'm Bruno Dupont, also from the Liège Game Lab. Thank you for the invitation to introduce myself in 5 words. I'm a postdoctoral lecturer at the University of Liège and at the Haute École de la Ville de Liège, where I'm mainly working on 2 things. So on one hand, I'm working on the relationship between video game literature or the media, that is Irzyka art, and on the other hand, I speak about the process of learning how to play video games.
Oh, of course, of course.
Yeah, I can hear you. That's a problem.
All right. So. Yeah, but I did it. All right. Okay. So I will add. I just had to do it again, I think, because there is no reason, but that's how computer works. Is it better now? Can you talk, my friends?
Do you hear me? Do you hear me now? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Great.
Bruno will have the pleasure to start again his introduction. Very, very good, very professional.
Okay, I'm gonna make it short. So I'm Bruno Dupont, also from the Liège Game Lab, from the University of Liège and from the Haute École de la Ville de Liège. I'm working on two things. So the relationship between video game, literature, and other media, and also on the process of learning how to play video games. That I call video game literacy. So I'm not the only one speaking about that, but it's one of my topics. During the stream, I will try to follow the chat where you can ask questions, react on Pierre-Yves playing, or on Fanny saying intelligent things about Pierre-Yves playing. So it's not impossible that I give some comments about the game, but I will mainly focus on the chat.
Thank you, Bruno. And maybe to just remember that this is the social event part of the conference. Could you introduce yourself, like as a player or as a human being, not only a professional that you are, but maybe do you, for example, do you play RPGs games, and what do you know about this field in a few words?
Yes, that is something I didn't want to say because I have no idea about the game you are going to speak today. So you just basically told me I'm speaking about Aëdemphia. Could you follow me? I said yes, but I have no idea of what this game is. I just know that is a RPG, an amateur RPG, but that's all I know. I'm more into other types of games, so more like action game or fighting games, and some textual games as well, but no RPG, I must say.
Thank you, Bruno. I think this is not at all a problem that you don't are really into RPG. I will ask to the chat room, for example, to say us if they are RPGs fans or beginners too, so we know that we have to explain things more in details. I will ask now to Fanny Barnabé, the main organizer of RPG Maker, no, of Replaying Japan 2020. Everybody knows you well for now, so maybe you can you'll introduce yourself too as a human being. Will do in a social event.
Very much. Yeah, I guess everyone heard my voice at least once so far. My name is Fanny Barnabé. I'm also a postdoctoral researcher, also from the Liège Game Lab. My PhD was about, sorry, I will get to the human part after, but my PhD
Sure.
dissertation was about video game détournement, so how players use video games to create derivative works. So because of that, I'm still very interested in fan creation and amateur creation, even if I was more focused on fan games, mods that reuse pre-existing licenses. And here we are in face of an original game. So it will be new for me too. I never played Aëdemphia. But I'm a huge player of JRPG. Maybe not as much as I was when I was a teenager. It was my main genre, the genre I liked the most. Now I have less time, unfortunately. So I'm playing shorter games because JRPGs are so long that I cannot find the time to play them as much as I would like to. But I still love them.
Yeah, I don't have any time to play neither Fortnite. So thank you, Mike Marek, to share with us your taste about RPG. You are.
Marek Mikesh. Marek is the first name. Sorry.
All right. Hello, Marek. Sorry for that. And so Aëdemphia, as I said, is an RPG made in RPG Maker, and is like some the goal of the creator was to mix elements of Japanese RPGs and role-playing game from US mainly. So the title screen just propose you to démarrer is like to start, charger to charge. You can just have clue elements of the story. Didacticiel is like a tutorial, credits, bonus, quits, and so on. I just start it, and we will try to translate the main ideas of the dialogues. So there is a like settings part. I just do it very quickly. It's not the important point here. I just choose the easy way because I tried it and I think like during a streaming it's more like it would be a problem if I was stuck in a fight during 20 minutes. I'm just saying that the screen is not that well cropped. This is better. Sorry for that.
There is a lot of difficulty modes.
Yeah.
Like there is hardcore and super hardcore.
So that's kind of rare, I think.
So everyone on the chat agrees that RPGs are really time consuming. So
yeah, sure. All right. And the game starts with, I don't know if we say cinematic in English, right?
Cutscene?
Cutscene. So the game is mainly made by one people. Sylvanor makes the game mechanics, the programmation in RPG Maker, and the graphics. So everything of this is drawn image by image, or sprite by sprite. So it's in French only, that's why I wanted to share this one with you specifically. French amateur generally make their games in French. I won't translate everything, but the main thing is that we will play the female character that is the real hero of the game. And here she is following a war leader that she saw growing up to a battle. I didn't say it, but the game is still in development, but it has been in development since 17 years, I think. So it's a work of a life.
That's crazy. Do you know when Sylvanor planned to finish it, or?
I don't know. I don't know his plans. I just know that.
Is he on the chat?
I don't think so yet. We invited Sylvanor to come by, but I don't see him yet.
So the introduction is not 1 hour during. Hey, yes.
He's there.
So hi, Sylvanor. I'm really pleased to see you here. So you can ask your questions to the author directly, and Sylvanor will be able to maybe to correct us if we are making mistakes about his games. So we are just like following the heroes that want to strike dictatorship.
A dictatorship.
A dictatorship. And as we will see, the female character will be part of the battle. So yeah.
Sorry.
I wanted to say
thank
that.
You.
Sorry.
Go on. Go. No. I wanted just to thank Sylvanor for his answer. So he said that.
Great.
There is still probably 3 or 4 years of development. That's super impressive.
Yeah. Well, when you play the game, you understand that that's a giant work, impressive work. The thing is, Sylvanor seems to be kind of stuck in a old game engine, because his version of RPG Maker is very old, so the resolution is low, and the game engine is not so much made for this kind of huge use. So I know he has some issues to make the settings fit, and that all the graphics to be fluent and so on.
And Pierre-Yves, is it not possible to switch to a newer version of the engine, or is it still the same with the new version?
With RPG Maker or
Yeah,
RPG
yeah.
Tsukuru, it's always questions of resolutions, and I think that it will be a huge amount of work to change the version. It's like just to change the resolution of the picture and so on. It will be
Okay.
very hard. So,
Okay, he says on the chat that the new versions aren't compatible with the older ones.
yeah, that's
So
it.
that's not the same as in Construct or the game making software.
And something impressive with the game is that it's all free, so it's free to play it, but you can also open it in RPG Maker to say how it is made and so on.
It's really cool.
So as you saw, I can't remember his name, but the character like died in the fight with because of an explosion, but she didn't at the end, because she is sent in another world. And well, the main things about the story is about all of this, all of the world changings and so on, world traveling. So as we see the main way of playing, the main assets, the main view that you have in the game, and a priest wake you up and asks you if you want to talk and so on. You are waking up. Where I am, she asks. You are in Erfanan. I hope that you will be fine soon. You were I don't know. You were in the
Founded.
in the forest, in the woods. What is your name? And yeah, you can make many choices in the dialogues in the story, and if you choose, for example, je m'appelle, so my name is Irzyka, you have like a good reputation, and if you say my name is not your business, you have a better, a worse reputation and so on. So there is a reputation system that affects, that you can change with your actions and so on, and that have repercussions, that have repercussions. English,
it's always the same.
English is so easy at the end, yeah. So I will. What do you want to do, Fanny? For example, what do you want to choose?
Well, I will be. I would choose the nice option. I always choose the nice options. I cannot be bad in video games. That's a shame.
Well, you are mean in real life, so I think maybe you want to be gentle in video games.
Yeah, exactly. That's the opposite for me.
So they are discussing, but Irzyka doesn't remember his city, and she doesn't know anything about the world where she is. So she asks for more information and so on. this is a kind of isolated city, and the priest asks to go to the temple to have a discussion, and from him you can, so we can play with the keyboard but with the controller too. Here I'm on the keyboard. I just want to say that the graphics are just marvelous. I just really like it. That's my...
Yeah, it's amazing. It doesn't look like other RPG Maker games, I would say.
So
Yeah, they are really better.
The thing with RPG Maker that they are often criticized because they all have the same assets and so on, but here everything is customized and personalized. There is a lot of tutorial guides and so on.
I have a question for Sylvanor about the creation process of the fictional universe. Like, did you created the whole universe before starting to create the game, or does the creation of the game make the fiction evaluates in a way? My question is really not very precise, but yeah, I'm curious about how much it was written in advance, the scenario and the universe, or if it
improvised
changes.
or something.
Yeah, or if you're improvising the story alongside the creation of the game. But
So,
sorry, we couldn't read the story because of my
yeah, well,
question.
I will summarize it. That's not a problem. But there is someone in the city that just asked if he could help the newcomer here, and Irzyka has some information, and she understands that she is in another world again because it's something that she had to deal with it before, and so from here we can go around, visit the city and so on. You can enter in mainly most buildings and so on. Talk to people.
Pretty.
So Sylvanor answered your question actually. So he says that he had an idea of the universe at the beginning, but then it did evaluate with the time because it's been a long time. He began with the story.
Yeah, 17 years. Yeah, the story should. I guess the story evolves as well as you're evolving in your life. So that's super interesting.
So I'm looking for the temple. It's not here. It's just. So the first city is kind of really big. Okay, this is a temple.
So you are trying to go to the temple, right?
Yeah, the temple is. I am in the temple now, and
okay.
So
already
I will meet some people just messing around, and mainly the big priest of the city that will learn me something. Well, the priest will try to have the power to see my memories, or the memory of Irzyka at least, and he will understand that she is from another world because he doesn't recognize anything in his memories. So that's what he say. Well, he says like, okay, let me. Sorry for the interruption. I just hope that the sequence when I was playing won't be turning off my computer again. Oop. Oh no, I decided to be kind. Just don't speak to me, please.
I'll go to the temple.
I'm ready. I'm going to the temple. Sorry, everybody. Cha 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 cha.
And I don't know if we answered the question about the differences between new versions of RPG Maker and old versions of RPG Maker.
What is the question?
Well, someone asked how much it was different, the new versions of RPG Maker.
From the one 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I think like firstly well, let me try this before.
Yeah. So we can see if we disappear again.
So maybe goodbye.
Yes.
If it doesn't work, I will be back again and we will just chill in the city. Maybe there is something with the videos. Codex. Nah.
Yeah. It worked.
So I will just summarize the story just about here. We learn a little more about the background of Irzyka. So she's from another world that was le dépotoir in French. So I don't know if Bruno has something to propose as a translation.
Dump, maybe?
The dump word or something like that. And she escaped from this world of desolation by scientific progress, and she just met Ufa as a young man, and now she saw him growing up and rise an army and so on. So this was for a story. The question about the different version of RPG Maker is kind of complex because there are many of them, and I know that I'm not a user of this engine, but I know that the users generally have complaints about the change that the society do in the engines, because sometimes they just change something in the engines with no reasons, and this is something really appreciated in the previous engines, previous versions, and so on. So I know that there is different versions that have more or less way to be personalized, so you can more or less personalize your game. You can have different battle views, like traditional one or more on the top, I think. And there is difference in terms of resolutions of the sprites and so on. So the thing is that at the end of the 90s, the versions that was used had the same resolution of the 16 bytes generation, like Super Famicoms and so on. So everybody was able to rip off.
Sorry.
Someone died in Fanny's house. Doesn't matter.
No.
And so everybody to change the graphics that was proposed inside RPG Tsukuru used Super Famicom graphics and so on. And they mixed something from Final Fantasy VI, for example, with something with Super Metroid, or I don't know. And that was a way, if you didn't know how to draw, it was a way in having something very original and so on. And when it's well done, it's very impressive too. It will be really interesting one time to show old RPG makers from the end of the 90s. And at this time, I think that it was very different to make a game at this time, because it was basically what you could play a few years earlier on your own console. So the technical gap wasn't very important and so on. I didn't read the questions of the priest, so I will say I am surprised.
I would love to try Disparate. Oh, too late.
Yeah, sorry for
You
that.
can make the chat vote next time for the
Yeah.
good or bad answer.
Well, I will try later because I have an idea of when it would be interesting.
Okay.
Here, the big priest can learn you some interesting things about the background of the story of the world and so on. And the important point is that you can't go away alone in the savage fields and so on, so you have to be helped by a man in the west, a fighter, and you can and you receive a little amount of money.
Boris asks if the options, the dialogue options in the game, have an influence on the game itself.
For what I know is that there is a system of reputations. So how Sylvanor answers, sometimes you have repercussions and sometimes not. But I think that you can change your points of reputations and so on, and so people can be kind of mean with you and so on. I can't remember if this time I think I choose the normal mode, so I think the battle I wanted to show you will be more difficult. The thing is, I tried to win a battle in the normal mode preparing the streaming, and I was not able to do it because I did not bought potions and so on. So I will see if I can do this.
Marek is saying that you can lose. It's not a problem to watch.
Yes, I totally agree with him. Thank you for that. But my problem is that if I lose in this battle, I'm kind of stuck, or I have to restart from the beginning. So that's why I would like to.
We're getting used to it. No problem.
Yeah. So we can try every dialogue from the beginning.
All right. So in this shop you can buy things or sell things or entuber. How do you say that?
Screw people.
So there is a system so you can sell your things with a price too high, and I really love all the options because when you go to buy things, I don't have enough money, but you can make an process hold up, and there is a lot of system like that in the game. So for example, when you visit a house that's not yours, you can steal things in the chest, but the people in the house can see you, and if they do, you have less better reputations and so on. So there is many options. Maybe I can.
That's basically Skyrim.
Excuse me.
That's Skyrim, but made by one man.
Yes.
Yes, basically it's kind of.
What's the matter with the man and the young woman at this right? So on the left side of the screen.
Okay, sorry, but with the delay, I don't know.
Okay, no problem.
Maybe I can find again. Oh, this one? Maybe this one.
No. On the left side. Oh, it's not there anymore. That's him.
So a lot of people in the city talk about that it's important to have faith in Aëdemphia. Aëdemphia is like something, so for what I learned, between a magical, it's like a paradise, a Christian-like paradise, I think, for what I learned from the game, and but it seems to be a real a real version of paradise, so you can really be go in it and be full of peace. And so this man says that, hey, people doesn't understand that it's important to have faith, and the kiddie just said, parents want me to join Aëdemphia when I will be dead, but I don't want to
Spoil my life. Spoil?
Yes, my life for that. So there is people with different kind of opinions on the subject in the city, and you have the possibility to. Oh, there is a man doing yo-yo here. Oh no, okay, it's a ball. Sorry. For me, it's a yo-yo in my heart, in my kid heart. For the English skills. So you can visit houses. So maybe I can try to steal something here. I can't remember if I can.
Yes, you could.
Yeah, well, I was not very good at it. But I think there is a. I have to press Shift. Yes, I did it in a.
So he got busted.
Go for the entubage. C'est Boris.
Yes.
Entubage for the win.
So I received something, and I think that there is someone asking me for, typically fight some monsters in the mountains and so on. So that's really just to show you some of the cool assets you have here, and I will try to join the mountain and to find the warrior that could help you. I really like the statues.
I'm wondering what games were your main inspiration, Sylvanor? Because I don't know. It seems that there's a lot of different inspiration in your games. So I'm curious to know what were the games that made you want to create this one.
Here is another cutscene with a text on it to. It's the end of the chapter.
Boris remarks that the possibility of being mean is the best thing in about RPGs. So that's what he likes most.
Well, I can recognize Boris in this session. So yeah, Sylvanor was inspired by old Fallouts 1 or 2 and Planescape Torment.
Really? And I don't know Planescape Torment actually,
No,
so I
don't.
have no idea what it looks like. But I was thinking more about JRPG. What's that?
So I don't know if we was joined by a connoisseur of dodging games, but I will appreciate and I would like if anybody could just say us if this kind of game is quite common in Japan, or if you can see differences between this and Dojin games, or at least RPG Tsukuru games made in Japan. Don't hesitate to learn us something. I just forgot to say it, but I don't know, I can't remember if I said it, but something interesting is that at the end of the 90s, RPG Tsukuru was not sold in France, so so everything was kind of illegal because users in Russia hacked it and translated in with other people in English, and after that other makers made the translation in French, and so on. And so since the late 90s there is a lot of people doing it in France, firstly illegally and now totally legally. So this one is for you, Fanny, because the character is called Tuto.
Oh.
And the dog's name is Hurel.
So it's like the contraction of tutorial.
Yeah.
And
it's my current research topic, for those who don't know. Yeah. So I will integrate this game to my corpus directly.
So someone says in the chat, maybe it's Keiji Amano. So I'm a Japanese and I don't usually play Western RPGs, and I don't feel it's Oriental inspired, but it still feels familiar. So it's not Japan style.
I found the answer of Sylvanor super interesting, because he says actually that the RPG that inspired him were more Western RPGs.
All right.
But I think, as a Westerner, I think that there is a Japanese feeling in that game, but so maybe it's not coming from Sylvanor, but maybe from the RPG Maker structure, or I don't know, or the RPG Maker codes that are
sure.
Really,
yeah, for example, the battle system and so on is kind of well, I don't know very well that field, but I played Final Fantasy VIII at this time, and it just remember me that kind of games. I don't know.
So what's the goal of this chapter actually?
Yeah, well, you can remember, I guess, that we have to find the warrior that will help us.
Okay.
In the mountain. Here you have some object that can help you. Alright. And we are going to... I think it will be like... Oh, there is a lot of wine.
It's very beautiful. The graphics, they are incredible for
yeah.
RPG Maker game.
There is details moving everywhere, and that's really crazy.
Yeah, the animation is kind of everywhere. So there is a waterfall and you can go in it.
So Sylvanor says he tried to create a mix between JRPG and Western RPG with this game.
So maybe Sylvanor, you can say us what is the Japanese related part in your mind of this game? It's like maybe the spiritual quest and so on. I don't know.
Well, he said the artistic direction.
All right.
That it follows more the artistic direction of JRPGs, but he prefers the gameplay mechanics of Western RPGs with choices, side quests, etc. So, yeah, that's explain a little bit the mix here.
All right. So
This monster really looks like Abe's Odyssey.
Yeah, that's real. Yes.
But I'm not sure it's the title in English. I'm going to check.
So I definitely choose the easy mode because I would be probably dead playing like that if it was in normal. So here is it. Arnyok is the lone warrior in the mountain and he is not really really kind.
Doesn't look like.
So there is a choice to make.
Can we ask the chat?
Yes. So we can choose. The priest asks me to look for you, or be polite, or I will correct you, or what is this welcome like, or you don't afraid me, if it's correct.
You don't scare me?
You don't scare me.
Okay. Well noticed is Boris that who proposed this solution.
All right. So Boris has to. You don't scare me. You want to be a badass? Well, maybe Bruno, you can translate for me.
Yeah, you're trying to play badass. Please mind your behavior in my company. I'm not the patient kind. I let you just a chance. I leave you just a chance.
I'm waiting for the last part.
I suppose Ainam sent you. I told him not to speak with me, so you can come in, but please be brief.
So there is a dialogue scene, and well, she tried to convince Anyok to help. When I tried, I didn't succeed. I don't know if it's possible or not. Maybe it's because I refuse to say please. So maybe this time I will try to say please and to be gentle one.
Okay, he asked for a reason to do so to come with her.
Yeah. And she said, well, I choose to say I will be kind. So I will play the victim. Please listen your heart. But the last time I was really like, yeah, well, if you don't want to to help me, I will just go alone and so on.
Says I have no heart.
Come on,
it's
please.
quite difficult with your dialogues.
Yeah. I don't know if it's possible to.
Sylvanor said it was possible.
Oh yeah, okay. So I don't was enough convincing. So this time I say please. So maybe Anyok will say yes.
Or let the chat decide. Oh, no, too late. Yeah, I have the delay.
Yeah, that's kind of complicated with the delay, but okay, I failed again.
No!
So sorry.
Oh.
I'm
and
really...
is it possible to succeed in the game without this this guy?
Well, let me show you.
Okay.
So here are
Sylvanor is making fun of you on the chat.
Yeah, I'm not good at being convincing, I guess. So there is a captain or at least two soldiers that want to that I follow them, and they want to. she said no.
Oh, we will see the first boss.
So yeah, so this is Anyok saying, hey, you are messing with these young women.
Are you crazy?
You're crazy? You want to fight with me?
Oh wow! If you have enough speech stat, you can pass the boss without fighting.
Okay,
That's interesting.
That's definitely not for me.
You have to fight.
But I'm not better at the fight menu, so I will do my best. Well, for now I will just go straight to the point. But I think I'm in easy mode, so I won't say anything.
I was paying attention, but the heroine has magic.
Yes, she's a magician. I hope I will be able to show you. So yes. So here in the battle mode, you can have like special power and so on. And with Anyok, we have something called vibrations. And you have a help menu pressing the plus key. So I will use it.
Oh, and Sylvanor is saying that one important thing to keep in mind is in the fights is that when you are hurt, your characters lose their power. That is very original feature because you have to keep your health very high all the time.
Like definitely or what?
It's important to heal your characters quite often. It's like the opposite of the Berserker trope. Like the Berserker, the less you have life, the harder you fight.
Yes. I would like to show you the Fury mode. Here I will show you like kind of a magical trick to be safe. Oh, too bad. I thought I was able to show you the Fury. It will be for the next time, I guess. So I know that.
And how can you activate this mode, the Fury mode? How can you activate it?
I think that you have to to have points of Fury or something like that.
Okay.
Is it the loading bar at the left of the HP? I guess.
Something that I really like is that you can make order to the other fighters, and so you can help the other, for example, to activate the Fury mode and so on. So he's like, stop dreaming, and he is furious. So he has the Furious mode here. Yeah, but I'm too bad at this. I don't have any points of object.
It's because you are too much hurt, I guess. And the Fury gauge depends on the event of the battle. For example, when you get hurt, it increases, but when the character is healed, the gauge gets lower.
All right.
And Marek asks how Sylvanor did to balance the combat system well in order not to make it monotonous.
I'm also curious because in the chat there is people from very different countries. So if you know about how the RPG Maker communities work in your country, it's interesting to know also. Because I know that there is a lot of structures that are specific to the French-speaking community.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, sorry, I'm in the battle. Totally. Sorry, I just tried something.
Concentrated.
I'm just furious myself because I don't have magical points to show you the fury. Never mind. So, okay, I've got it. I wanted to show you that. I think this is it. There is a cutscene. So I think this is really impressive in an RPG Maker game to have that kind of thing. That's all. I'm happy now. Well, your question was about something special following the countries, about game making creators in like hobbyists and so on. That's it?
Oh yes, sorry.
You are in the battle right now.
No, I was reading the comments and listening to you at the same time.
Yeah,
we are trying to help you, Pierre-Yves.
I'm not a specialist. That's something I will like to go deeper in my comprehensive between the difference between, for example, jeux vidéo amateur in French can be something to describe RPG Maker users, but something too different like homebrewers, ROM hackers, modders, level editors, users, and so on. But in each field there is people talking about jeux vidéo amateur, but it's not an expression institutionalized or recognized and so on. And in another hand, in Japan there is all the doujin games field that have a name unifying all these hobbyists making games and so on, and I am very interesting to understand how it works, how it was. I know that it is really strongly connected to the doujin comics, doujin mangas, I don't know how to say, and comiquettes. So that's something some of RPG Maker users, for example, try to do in the years, in the beginning of the 2000s, but it's failed, I guess. But there is still a lot of people making games in very little communities, but there is a huge number of communities using Construct, Unity, Game Maker, RPG Maker, doing homebrew on NES, or another one making homebrew and another platform and so on. So that's something I really would like to understand why it's so different. And another thing is that the doujin games are well known for having a lot of adult-only contents, and that's something I never saw, but I think that exists too in the West hobbyist games, maybe, but I never saw it online. Maybe it's because the erotical contents have a different status or places in our cultures. I don't know. That's just an idea.
Or maybe just the communities are not as mixed. Like maybe there is content creators specialized in erotic games in French-speaking area, but they don't mix with the RPG maker scene or
Well,
the content scene.
We ask me that a lot of times, so I finished to look for erotical games and so on. So, but you directly fall on very professional pornographic games, really explicit and so on, which is another field too. I didn't. Maybe we can find some erotical games in RenP French communities or novel makers communities, for example, but I didn't find it. I think
maybe someone on the chat can answer this question.
Yeah, it would be great. So yeah, Marek never saw a RPG Maker is stage RPG Maker based games. So, for example, I don't speak Dutch, but when I was during my research stay in Utrecht in Netherlands, I tried to find users of RPG Maker in Dutch-speaking community, and I found one what was closed. And in comparison, in French, there are like dozens of communities that existed at a point in the. So I think that there is a. I think that Japanese RPG Maker. Japanese RPGs or so-called Japanese RPGs had a great place in the gaming culture in France, or in Belgium, or in Switzerland, or in French-speaking parts of the world. Like, and I say France because that's a country really into the Japanese country. Regarding interest of food or mangas and so on. So maybe RPGs are more popular in France than in other countries and so on. Well, it doesn't explain the... Yes?
It could be that some people from, speaking of Dutch-speaking countries, they tend to play in greater communities, greater English-speaking communities.
Yeah.
So maybe they are mixed up in other bigger communities, but in the US or in England or...
Yeah, clearly that's something that you have to take into account, because the French young people won't go naturally in English-speaking forums and so on. So that's interesting. Yes.
Yeah, I was also surprised by that with this game actually, because it's such a big project and such an impressive result that one may think that an amateur creator would like to have the biggest audience possible. And so I don't know if Sylvanor is still there, but why did you choose to write in French? Or is it just because it was easier? I guess it was easier. But do you think sometimes to translate your game to get a bigger audience? Or
I just saw yesterday that the Twitter biography of Aëdemphia was written in English, so maybe he's planning to translate it, or to ask someone to translate it. I don't know.
For the next 10 years?
Yes.
So you have a project, Sylvanor?
Yeah. I think that yes, it will involve fans of the games. There is the story interesting of this about the game Off. It was a French only game made in RPG Tsukuru, and someone translated it in English, and so it became very popular in the United States. and now is even translated in Japanese and Portuguese. So you never know. I
So
guess
Pierre, you would say there is a large translators community on RPG Maker, or is it a bigger community? So like a translator community for other platforms, which is also working on RPG Maker games. I mean, are they RPG Maker specific or not?
Oh, I think that for the off case, it was only an off fans that wanted to translate it because he just discovered it. It would be extremely hard to translate it. All right.
Like 1,000 pages. But you are good in English.
So
I'm
maybe
sure you-
someone will see that stream and want to translate it. Yeah, well, the game is non-linear, so so you have to write a lot of lines.
And Damien is saying that for games and modding in Steam, on Steam, the translation is entirely voluntary, so no one gets paid. That's crazy, because it's such big work.
Okay, someone tried to translate it, but abandoned.
Oh,
Say Sylvanor. Well, you never know. Maybe someone will, some translator will fall in love with the game and so on. Well, it's 6 p.m. right now, so maybe we can just ask the chat if you have any questions before we stop here. I'm sorry again for the interruption in the middle of the
or
stream.
comments or anecdotes I want to share before we stop. But yeah, it's 1 a.m. in Japan, if I'm not mistaken, so...
Yeah, that's why we are lesser. What is your anecdote?
QPG for speaking in French. You're
Yes.
such a good French speaker.
Thank you. Well, we are happy if you are.
Yeah, thank you for being there.
And I will definitely play the game further and try to study the tutorial character, because I'm so interested in tutorial characters right now.
Yes,
So-
we will. I think maybe we will do it online if you want, because I would like to discover the game too. The fun fact is, during my thesis, I asked myself and I promised myself to don't play to so much amateur video games and so on. But now it's finished, so maybe we can. I can play further the games and see what's in it.
Yeah, we
We'll
could
see.
organize a seminar. So 1 week playing Aëdemphia
One-
all together.
Yeah, like one entire marathon.
Yes.
Okay,
30 hours, okay.
let's think about it.
I'm
Let's-
getting the fundings.
Let's schedule the meeting, and we'll see. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for following
Thank you.
us.
Yeah, thank you for coming, and see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. for Susanna Tosca's keynote speech. That will be broadcast here too, so...
So that's a good reason to subscribe to the channel and to
Yeah,
and to just follow our activities. We use the channel for seminars, keynotes, many things. So generally it's in French, so you can also see all the replays, the captures somewhere. I think it's like below or on our YouTube channel.
on YouTube. Yeah, on YouTube. Every stream is upload on YouTube a few days after the streams.
And we do have some in English, so for English speakers, it can be interesting as well.
Yes. Well, have a nice day.
Bye bye. Thank you,
Bye.
Pierre.
See you. Bye.
See you.